Yes, hello everyone. Welcome to this brand new video on my channel. And in this one, we're going to be getting straight into it. We're going to be talking about how to actually enter the market, or pretty much the only rules you need when you're entering from a certain point of interest. Now, for you guys that are all trading smart money concepts, or if you're new to this type of concept, definitely check out my other YouTube videos for the more beginner types. This one's going to be a bit more advanced because, we're going to be refining our certain points of interest. Now, before we get into any of this, obviously, look, I've moved to the to the dark mode. If you've been following my journey, I've always had the light charts, but I thought I had to have a change of heart and move over a bit. Just a quick announcement: I've got a free public Zoom call that I'm going to be doing very soon. This will be open to everyone. You can join. The last one that I've done this was actually about 4 months ago. So it's very rare that I do this, but I thought, you know what, let me just get one out there and interact with you guys a bit more. If you are interested in joining, I'll be setting out all the information pretty much soon on the free Telegram channel. So this is the one where, everyone can look at. I upload, from time to time, but yeah, we're going to be having that Zoom call really soon. And I think it'll be really beneficial for everyone. And apart from that, guys, we'll get straight into it. So in terms of analyzing the charts, how do I usually go about this? Now, as I always say, if you've watched my other videos, first of all, it's always understanding the fundamental direction. Now, this is something that I specialize with my group with. Not many smart money concept traders actually get into fundamentals as well. But when you've got that fundamental backing, you understand that your trade, you literally know where the market is going to be going in the next week, 2 weeks, however long. We've always got that long-term vision. Then what's the second step? We look for points of interest on the higher time frames. And the third step, when we get to them point of interest, that's when we start to break down the trades and then actually get into it. Now, this is something that I've gone through recently, particularly this week with EuroCAD. Now, EuroCAD has been showing some great potential, especially recently. So yeah, we'll be starting off with the higher time frame. So starting off with the 4 hour, let's just see my whole train of thought behind this trade. And guys, of course, this trade recently that I'm just going to be exploring, it was of course sent into my group. Whenever I do enter a trade, we're always on weekly analysis and then getting into entries, for example, before the trade enters, and then obviously closing out a break even and then, taking profits and everything. So whenever I do enter a trade, I always send it into my group as well. And of course, there's the active Discord and everything like that. Up to 300 members now as well. So it's been growing quite a lot recently. Now, with this, what did we identify? So on the weekly call, I identified EuroCAD. Fundamentally, I'm going to be looking for sells. All the next step was finding out our 4 hour and our 1 hour point of interest. So this is what we had identified. Now, moving to the lower time frame, let's move down to the 1 hour. When watching what price was doing, let's just go even to 30-minute. So just to quickly explain, price had created some liquidity to the upside. Now, in terms of the range we're currently in at the moment, as you can see, we've got these massive imbalances to be aiming for. One here, another one here. So essentially, these imbalances are eventually going to get filled. Now, because we've got our fundamental bias, we're looking for sells at the moment because of the strength of CAD. Euro's been relatively strong as well, but still, EuroCAD, I'm looking for some sells at the moment. This is the area, this is the type of area that we would have been aiming for. Potential reversal area over here. So this is where we would want to majorly take profits. Now, in terms of price, what had happened? We started to have this buildup of liquidity at the top. And then exactly what happened, price induced the liquidity or the equal highs and then started to drop. Now, as soon as we started to get this drop, as you can see, it started to break some primary structural lows over here. So this low right here had broken. And then it started to get to a point where we're starting to create equal lows at the bottom, as you can see on the lower time frames. So what was my train of thought here? First of all, timing of the week as well. We were still in the beginning of the week. So it was like a Monday or a Tuesday. So that's perfect. That's where we can get some kind of reversal there. Now, in terms of actually picking out the point of interest, our original one that we had been looking for, I believe it was on 10-minute chart. Let's just go back there. Let me just replay it so it's a bit cleaner. So as you can see, this is the point that we were at. This was our first point of interest, but unfortunately what had actually happened, it played out during Asia session. Now, personally, I don't like to trade Asia session. I like to see what actually happens with it rather than actually trade within it. Then what happened? We got to London session, we got the London fake move, and then as we started to break downwards, started to create some equal lows at the bottom. Now, moving into our lower time frames. So this is exactly what we were looking for. You know, the key here is when you get your high time frame points of interest, you want to build up your confirmations as you start to enter on the lower time frames. That way, you're able to have a higher risk to reward. So if this trade, for example, had played out fully, would have been a nice 1 to 17. Now, we took some partials at 1 to 6, I believe, when I sent it into the group. So yeah, moving at 1 to 6, that's where I started to take some partials. And in terms of the entry point, all it was timing was on point. The order block was left opened at the top. And then also we started to get these multiple mitigations to the downside. And that's exactly what we're looking for. And as you can see, how price played out. Broke this low right here, first take profit taken. And then all we are meant to do is literally just put this at break even and then let the trade do whatever it has to do, moving on into the next day. Now, many of you guys would be looking at this trade and thinking, oh, okay, I've got into one position. How can I get into more? Again, it would have to be even more confirmations. Now, with this trade, after we took some partials, eventually got to a point where the rest of our partials was hit at break even. But nevertheless, it still respected this structure and this order block. You know, it didn't run past it. So again, we still have our confirmations for even more sells. In fact, all it could be is just an extra inducement. Now we know we've built up liquidity to the downside as we play even more. What are we looking for? So we'll play all the way down to now. Now, so this is where prices come up to at the moment. Again, if we really wanted to, we could have traded for the rest of the week as well. Just looking at EuroCAD, even on the 1 hour time frame, what happened? Price hit directly into this order block after breaking the low, as you can see. After it broke the low, as you can see, this liquidity was taken. It's not a full bearish candle. So in a way, this is kind of like a liquidity grab. Then eventually what happened? Price ran back into our order block and then we started to sell to the downside. Now, if you really wanted to trade on the intraday time frame, there were many, many opportunities to do so. You know, you've gone into the 1 hour time frame. Again, it's the same type of thing. After you've seen that significant break of primary structure, that's when you want to be even looking for more sells. So for example, as we broke these lows right here, actually, I'm just going to draw it. As we broke these lows right here, what did the price do? Broke down, started to retrace into any of our types of order blocks. Obviously, look back at that video. Where is it? It's one of the videos with the 300K views. It's that one. The different types of order blocks that we can look at. In particular, this one, it was just the standard one. And then price started to drop even lower. And what you could have gotten into or something like this. As you can see, aiming for the lows, for example, that would have been a nice 1 to 8 trade. So you see, when you do enter from, when you do reach a point of interest, if you really wanted to, you could just do something like this. Enter on the higher time frames, and then just leave everything to run. And of course, it's going to take a lot longer. But if you really do want to confirm your trades, this is the type of stuff that you have to be doing. And of course, I trade with caution. You know, if I am trading, if I am sending my entries into the entries channel, it might only be once or twice a week, only when things really align. And this is one thing I teach my students. Look at that at the top, Diamant's Capital. You have to stay patient. You know, wait for your setups to arise and don't rush anything. That's the one thing I would recommend to everyone. You know, if somebody was asking me for just a bit of advice, stay patient in the market. Don't rush anything at all and wait for your perfect setup. Because if you're taking anything less than that, you're just going to be incurring losses. Now, of course, if you really wanted to, you could enter the trades all the time. But I'm telling you, I've done this type of stuff before, especially last year before I was really sort of trading in this way, in a more comfortable way, in a more confirmed way. I was trading on the 1 minute, on the 5 minute all the time. You might see a lot of confirmations at that time, but when you really zoom out on the high time frame, you start to realize what price structure is actually looking like. Now, just starting to look at this type of stuff, this chart at the moment, I do see some more downside potential, at least to fill up this imbalance. And then from there, we'll obviously see how fundamentals are doing and then just go from there. But yeah, guys, it's literally as simple as that. When you get to your higher time frame, use your confirmations, whatever they may be. For my students, I always teach a certain list. This is exactly what you have to go through. These are the types of steps that I use. Do you even have take profit areas, for example, this equal low, this imbalance to be filled? You need to stick to your rules. But yeah, guys, if you guys need anything, obviously hit me up on Instagram whenever I have time. I always look to answer messages. And yeah, if you're interested in joining, all links in the description. Obviously, there's two packages. There's the technical course and the trading channel, which is the Discord. And then you've got the technical and the fundamental courses and the trading channel. So yeah, whichever one you're more into. Of course, there's a whole course curriculum of what you can be expecting, you know, 10 or 11 hours, including my whole plan as well of exactly how I enter trade from beginning to the end. And yeah, guys, I think that's pretty much it for this video. Definitely, again, join the public call that I'm going to be doing very soon. All information about that is going to be released soon. So yeah, see you all in the next video. Take care.